I guess consider lunchtime, part of our lunchtime. Can you record?
All right, first I'm going to say thanks for coming. This is going to be a demonstrative speech about the initial and very basic troubleshooting for a monitor that is not operational. Okay. A lot of folks go to work, go to school, go home, we sit down in front of our computer, we hit the power button, and everything should just work. Unfortunately, that doesn't always happen, right? And so in this particular case, you sat down in front of your computer, you've hit the power button, the computer turns on, you can hear it, you can see the lights indicating that it's turned on, and nothing shows up on your monitor. This is a cause for concern for a lot of people. Most average users don't even know where to start trying to figure out what's going on with the machine itself or with the monitor. Okay, so what we're going to cover today, like I said, is very initial, basic troubleshooting procedures and some remedies that you can take if you find something wrong, that you can try to fix your monitor, make it turn back on, and do what you need it to do. So the first thing you want to do is you want to do a visual inspection of your monitor. You want to take a look at it. Is there any physical damage? Is there any liquid that's been spilled on it? You want to look for any indicator lights that show that you have power, things like that. In this case, you don't see any physical damage, but you don't see any indicator lights. And so you're going to hit the power button, which is usually located on the side here, or on the front, or on the bottom of the monitor. Sometimes it's on the back or the top, but you're going to locate the buttons and hit the power button. If nothing happens, then you need to observe whether or not you have a valid source of active power going to your monitor. There's a power cord that connects to the back of the monitor that runs to a power source, whether it's the wall or a power strip. You want to look at the cable, make sure it's not frayed or damaged in any way. You want to make sure that it is in fact plugged in. If you notice that there's no damage to the cord, that it is in fact plugged into either a power strip or to a wall port, then you want to reseat those cords, either removing them, plugging them back into both parts where they're plugged into. If it is plugged into a power strip, you want to make sure that that power strip is turned on. A lot of power strips, people will hit them with their feet. They'll unplug them on accident, so you want to make sure the power strip is plugged in as well. And then once you've made sure that it's turned on and that there's lights indicating that the power strip is turned on, everything is plugged in, you're going to go back and look at the monitor again, see if you see any lights. If not, you want to hit the power button again. In this particular case, you now see lights. There's power, but the monitor's not turning on right away. Eventually it comes on and says there's no input. This could be a problem too. There are input selections on a monitor for a computer just like there are on most televisions. Okay? So you're going to select the input button. Usually the button closest to the monitor, power button, is a menu button. You'll hit it, you'll use the other buttons to select your input. Okay, if you don't know what type of monitor cable or graphics card you have in your computer, most new monitors have an auto detect selection that you can select, and if there's anything coming to it from any source, it'll automatically detect that source and project it onto your screen. In this case, you select auto detect. Still, nothing is connected. Nothing is showing up on your screen. You don't understand it. You don't know what's going on. There is another cable on the back of your monitor. This is going to be your display cable. It's going to go from the monitor to the computer. Okay? You want to check that cable just like you did the power cable. Make sure there's no damage to the cable. Make sure that it's plugged in. Make sure it's seated correctly in the computer and in the monitor. In the event that it appears to be seated correctly, you can still disconnect them, reconnect them, make sure they're seated firmly in their ports. You don't want to use too much force because you don't want to do any damage to the machine or to the monitor. But once you've reconnected these sources and they're all connected properly, again, you're going to look at your monitor, hit the power button again. It's going to go off. You're going to hit it again. It's going to come back on. It may or may not say that you have a source. It may or may not have any input. It's important that once you've reseated these things and you've checked all of this, that you understand that sometimes computers just need to be restarted. So then you're going to power down your computer. You're going to turn your computer back on. Once it comes back on, at this point, if everything's connected properly, and your monitor should come on. It should display the input that's coming into it from the computer. In the event that it still is not showing anything coming from the computer, you can move through the different inputs, selecting them one at a time, if you don't know which is the correct one, to see if that makes any change. At this point, if it hasn't made any change, if it is still not showing anything from your computer, I would suggest contacting an IT professional. Somebody at your work, somebody at your office, maybe a friend, somebody that knows exactly what they're doing, to do some further troubleshooting. Again, these are very basic troubleshooting steps, very basic remedies, and in most cases, one of these items is going to be the cause for concern. In the event that it's not, there are a whole slew of other issues that could be occurring. It could be software, it could be your graphics card, it could be a whole bunch of other things. Okay. So what we've gone through today, again, are very, very, very basic troubleshooting and remedies for a non-operational computer monitor. The beauty of these troubleshooting steps that I just went over with you is a lot of them can be associated with everyday electronics. A lot of times, something isn't working, you want to make sure you have power. You want to make sure it's connected properly. All of these things are important and they can be associated to everyday life. Doing these things can do multiple things. It can save you time, it can save you money, it can also give you the opportunity to provide a more detailed explanation of things that you know and things that you've done to your technician when they get out there, so that they can troubleshoot things that you already have determined are not the case. So I hope that maybe you've learned something, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you.